So, riddle for you. What is commonly used to alleviate menopausal symptoms like hot flashes and night sweats, can help manage cholesterol levels, and also supports bone health? Red clover. Come on over, let's learn some more. So, I actually was going to bring in some red clover this morning. There was a whole bunch of it in my front yard. It looks like a rabbit got to it all. So I don't have any this morning. I could have brought the leaves. Yeah, the bloom's pretty. So I don't have any. I should have gotten it last night. I really should have. Okay, I'm trying. Sort of. Okay, so we're going to talk about red clover today. If you haven't noticed, so remember, I am an herbalist. I am not a doctor. I glean all my information from reputable websites, and I will post them down below in the description so you can refer to them however you please. In this episode, I have one that's extra highlighted, and that was everything that I said in one website. I was like, why didn't I find this one first? Oh well, it's okay, because I like to have multiple resources regardless. So it was probably why, because I probably would have lazed out and gone, oh, it's all right here. Let's just put one in today. So, I know. But I will highlight that one because I actually didn't utilize any clippings from that one, but I did from all the others. Anyway, red clover. How are you? Um, we all know what it looks like. So, it's a pretty plant, and it actually tastes really good. You can literally walk through your yard, pesticide free. Make sure there's no bug poop on it or bugs. And just pick up a red clover. I usually shake it because you never know. And then you can bite right off. Think about Thumper and Bambi. The clovers were his favorite. White clover does a lot too, and maybe I'll discuss that next week or in a few weeks. We'll see. White clover lasts forever. Red clover is most of summer too. But anyway, I want to learn more about red clover and why it is medicinal and why it is good for us and why we should have it in our jars as an herbalist. So red clover is Trifolium pratense. That's the scientific name. It is a wild flowering plant belonging in the same family as peas and beans. So it's 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 just another vegetable, another fruit, another herb that we can ingest and not feel bad about it and feel better about what we're eating. It's widely used in traditional medicine as a remedy for menopause symptoms, asthma, whooping cough, arthritis, and even cancer. I'm not going to actually discuss the cancer one today. Those are in the links, and you can go and check them out for yourself. But the findings on those aren't as specific. And not only that, honestly, as long as you're eating healthy and it's not in your genetics, you're probably going to not get cancer. And even if you do, you have a really good fighting chance because it's in everything, isn't it? Pesticides, glyphosates, and all that icky stuff that actually causes that in us. Okay, moving on, because I have a lot to say, and I'm not. All right, Research suggests that red clover acts as a natural diuretic, meaning it increases urine production and helps balance fluid levels in the body. It is also believed to improve immune function to the body's elimination of excess waste. Mucus, basically, it helps as an expectorant. The toxins that can accumulate in the body, so it helps flush these out, kind of like cleavers. Remember, we talked about cleavers a couple times now. It seems like we've got to think about lymphatic drainage, because that's one of the things it does do, although I will not discuss that because we've discussed it with the last two, right? Cleavers and what was last week? I don't remember. So you know. Yeah. Anyways, so it also may support functions of the liver, the lungs, skeletal system, and digestive organs. So this is a really good plant, a really good herb. Red clover is not a medication though. It does not work for every person the same way. Okay, so like Joe Schmo could go and, take red clover and be like, this is the miracle drug of the century, and, try to make $1 million by gatekeeping information. Or, or you could take it and never feel a difference. So it just depends on the person, like pretty much almost every other herb. There are some that are just severe powerhouses that you're going to feel the difference. You will. Oregano, mullein, turmeric, that takes a lot longer. But you're going to feel a difference if it is for your body. Okay. So there may be differences and one of the things that cause that, it's about what your body needs. It also has to do with differences in absorption rates among individuals. Um, it has to do with diet beyond. It has to do with whether you're taking medications. We're going to get to that. And it has to do with just general biology. It could be for clover, for instance, that we're talking about, could be where it was harvested from, the time of year it was harvested. Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot of things that are to be considered when you're considering taking an herb for something. I don't recommend you just say, oh, this worked for so-and-so, so maybe it'll work for me. I'm going to go buy it. Don't waste your money. Don't. Unless you're going to become an herbalist and want to help others, don't bother. Grow and collect what you and your family needs, and maybe a handful of other people. Okay. It's good information. All right. So there are major bioactive compounds in red clover. They have isoflavones, things like formonetin, biotin A, diazine, genistein, paratensin, trifoside. There's flavonoids such as pectinarin, camphorol. There's volatile oils, clovamides, coumarins, minerals and vitamins such as calcium, magnesium, potassium, vitamin C. There's phytolaxins, B1, B3. I think so. Phosphorus, chromium. It's a powerhouse. This herb, I would consider a powerhouse. That's what I just said. But it's not going to work. Not every herb's going to work for everybody. I can attest to it. So one of the good things that it does And I'm going to tell you a lot of them in no particular order. But it helps with healing wounds. So it is antibacterial and anti-inflammatory, like all herbs. And so it's been used traditionally to treat wounds, bruises, knife cuts, insect bites. You can apply the fresh crushed clover right onto your a wound, and if you're like out in the wild, or you can, if you're home and you have time, you can mix it with a carrier oil, avocado, olive oil, jojoba, um, castor oil. There's a lot that I personally use avocado and olive oil, organic, really good stuff. Anyway, but anyways, you could use it. Keep a red clover oil and put it topically on the affected area, and it will help impede infection and kill bacteria. I mean, it's right out in your yard. And I would highly recommend, at the same time, having some, well, I guess it can't always be fresh, but if you have some fresh on hand or some dried on hand, just shove it in your face and eat this. So it's also good for bone health. So red clover contains isoflavones, which are a type of phytoestrogen, a plant compound that weakly mimics like estrogen in the body. It's more of a support rather than a fix. Some research has been shown that there's a connection between isoflavone intake and a decrease in osteoporosis risk. A 2015 study in 60 premenopausal women found that taking 5 ounces of red clover extract containing 37 milligrams of isoflavones daily for 12 weeks resulted in less bone mineral density, BMD loss, in the lumbar spine and neck compared to the placebo group. So it also helps with high cholesterol. I can guarantee you and say that pretty much almost every herb will also help with cholesterol, because you're not adding. Vegetables will never, herbs, plants, they'll never raise your cholesterol levels. It's just what it is. Kind of like they're all anti-inflammatory. There's more to that, but I'll save that for some other time. We'll get there eventually. I gotta write all these down eventually, because I'm not gonna remember them all. Okay, so a 2018 systematic review and meta-analysis found that individuals in menopause or transitioning into menopause who took red clover for 12 months showed a significant increase in HDL, also known as the good cholesterol, and a decrease in total of the LDL, low density lipoprotein. That's also known as bad cholesterol. So I have thoughts on this. I think I've even mentioned it before. I think I've even kind of touched on it a little bit before. These kind of things are the things that, like, I would love to have, like, a partner for a podcast and discuss these things. I would like that, because then you could get my opinion, somebody else's opinion. Um, Anybody would be able to participate. Anyway, I keep on going off on tangents because I have a lot to say today. So, also, an earlier meta-analysis on the isoflavones published in 2013 found that they didn't seem to, on that person in particular, that they didn't have significant effect on LDL or HDL or total cholesterol, but it helped with the triglycerides in those people. So all those things are kind of interconnected, intertwined, however you want to say it. So I think that it would definitely help. And really what it boils down to is what you eat, how much you eat of it. So big thing here. Big thing. I'm going to talk about this probably more than I'll talk about all the other stuff. Is that it is widely and mostly used to regulate menopausal symptoms. Premenopausal, perimenopausal. I don't know the differences. I just know that they don't feel good. So red clover's high isoflavone content is believed to help lower menopause symptoms such as hot flashes and night sweats. And 2 review studies found that 40 to 80 milligrams of red clover per day may alleviate hot flashes in women with severe symptoms. Like, severe symptoms are only recurring more than 5 times a day. But it alleviated those symptoms by 30 to 50%. The major isoflavones found in red clover include the genistein and the diacetyl, hormonal, and biotin. You're gonna, yeah, go ahead, laugh. It's alright. They closely mimic the effects of natural estrogen that both men and women have and produce. Although excess estrogen causes endocrine disruption, which is a huge concern for most people anymore because there's a lot of things that they put on the market that you guys buy in stores that are endocrine disruptors. If you'd like to hear a whole entire workup on that, let me know. Let me know down below because I would not mind gathering the information for you to show you what there is out there that does that. Anyway, say too little. So if too much is an endocrine disruptor, guess what? So is too little. So you can have too much, too little, and you got to figure out what's right for your body. Also, the compounds called cholesterols and flavonoids. Red clover's isoflavonoids are the main active substances of phytoestrogens, which research has linked to stronger bones in older adults and reduced risk of developing several types of female cancers, as well as support in prostate health for men. Isoflavones have estrogen-like properties due to their ability to activate estrogen receptors. They're consumed in high amounts in many healthy populations, such as those living in Japan, who eat a lot of naturally occurring isoflavones from fermented soy products and other fermented foods. Fermented foods. That is a huge one. Some of them do taste a little funky. But you just add them in to other things that kind of mask the flavor. You're still getting healthy stuff. And if you don't like it, there's plenty of other options. Try incorporating some fermented foods into your diet. Anyway, studies have found potential benefits for men, as men have with elevated prostate-specific antigen levels or enlarged prostates have supplemented with red clover extract and found improvements in liver function, sexual function, and quality of life. So trifolium pratense is a source of many different vitamins and minerals and electrolytes. We talked about, the calcium, chromium, the magnesium, B vitamins, C vitamins, and so many more. It's something that is very, very, very good to take to regulate symptoms, menopausal symptoms. A 2016 meta-analysis concluded that red clover consumption may decrease frequency of hot flashes, especially in women with severe hot flashes. I mean, they have it proven. Proof's in the pudding. So as women age, the hormone estrogen declines and menopausal symptoms may arise. Common symptoms of menopause: hot flashes, disruptive sleep, anxiety, depression, heart palpitations, headaches, dryness, low libido, weight gain. Guys, be nice to your wives. It's not fun. But more than 80% of women experience at least the hot flashes, and they're not fun. So other things, other herbs that actually would formulate really well for menopausal symptoms: chasteberry, vitex. There's a whole bunch of different names to it. Red raspberry leaf, fenugreek, and then the red clover. So like a formulation of all of them. I think it might be set up for something. Fenugreek, I like it. I think it's kind of like almost like a syrupy, garlicky scent to it. Don't take that at all. And it's also really good for digestion too. Maybe I'll go over that in a minute. I'll write that down too. Where did I go? Fenugreek. Right. I was going to go for skullcap this week, and I changed it to red clover. I'm sorry for whoever was looking forward to skullcap. I will be going over that at some point, really soon, maybe next week. So, yeah, we're flip-flopping between men and women here. So the prostate health for the men, menopausal health for the women. For the prostate health, research has suggested that a high intake of isoflavones may reduce the risk of prostate cancer and enhance overall prostate health in men. Additional research has shown that isoflavones may induce cell death in low to moderate grade prostate tumors and halt the growth of prostate cancer. It's something that we may at least need to find out if it works for us. Because, I mean, I'm not far off. And neither is my husband for his side of things. So, okay. We'll see. Alright. It's also really good for skin and hair health. Every time I find out something else helps with hair, I make a tincture or an oil, whichever is most useful, and I add it to my shampoo. Probably going to have about 5 different herbs incorporated into my shampoo by the time it's all said and done. Anyway, red clover extract has been used in traditional medicine to promote skin and hair health. It also helps with psoriasis and eczema. In a randomized study of 109 postmenopausal women, participants reported significant improvements in hair and skin texture, appearance, and overall quality after taking 80 milligrams of red clover extract for 90 days. Now, when they talk about the red clover extract, or any extract, a tincture can be substituted. If you don't have, like, a way to make an extract and you just want to make it for yourself, a tincture will suffice. Pay attention to your ratio. Look into that more. That I do know, harder to explain for me. Another study in 30 men showed a 13% increase in hair growth cycle anagen and a 29% decrease in hair loss telogen when a 5% red clover extract was applied to the scalp for 4 months compared to a placebo group. There's evidence that the isoflavones that are the main component in red clover, is why they talk about it so much, slows down the signs of aging. and as well as lowering inflammatory skin conditions such as psoriasis, eczema, and various rashes. Studies over the past several decades show that red clover's effects on estrogen levels give it most of its anti-inflammatory, UV protective, collagen boosting, wound healing potential. It's good to know. I had to process that one a little bit, sorry. In older adults, red clover helps mitigate the effects of skin aging induced by estrogen deprivation and can aid in boosting collagen production. Okay. And also, because of its antibacterial benefits, it's also good treatment of wounds or burns. It also can help improve skin's elasticity, thickness, and hydration, because it would be moisture. I'm trying to think of the Ayurveda of it. I would say it's just a moist cool, but I'm not 100% sure of that. Let me know down below if you do. That is something I don't specifically study, but I know like this much of it. Okay, so potentially reducing the appearance of pores and signs of aging. It's also good for cardiovascular health. So we did talk about this a little bit when we talked about how it can lower cholesterol and triglycerides in that one study. So minerals such as zinc and potassium, along with a component called coumarin from the red clover, has been necessary for blood thinning. This will interact there, and we're going to get to that. So the properties also help maintain flexibility and widen the arteries. So that's why it kind of helps with all that stuff. Some preliminary research has shown that red clover may improve heart health and postmenopausal women. 2015 study involving 147 postmenopausal women found a 12% decrease in LDL cholesterol after participants took 50 milligrams of red clover daily for 1 year. One review of studies in postmenopausal women taking red clover for 4 to 12 months showed a significant increase in good cholesterol and a decrease in bad cholesterol. Moreover, red clover may help lower bad, boosting good. It's really good for your cardiovascular health. I mean, and in all that, it helps with hypertension. And it will basically reduce inflammation throughout the whole body, which plants do. And most particularly in the cardiovascular system, that's the organ system that it likes the most in your body. Red clover tea is probably the most popular way to ingest red clover. You can have it as a powder, you can have it as a pill, you can have it as a tea, tincture, oils, however, whatever is best for your body. It'll help reduce a buildup of arterial plaque and supports overall cardiovascular health. Whew. It'll help me sleep. So sure. Anyway, sorry, excuse me. It boosts the immune system. The green part of the red clover. So not just the flower. It's not just the pretty posy on the top that is edible. It's the whole area parts. The leaves and the flower. It's basically what I always use. It has high vitamin C, so if you need vitamin C in the wintertime, particular red clover tea, it'll help a lot. because that is an immune booster. And so it stimulates the production of white blood cells. It'll fight respiratory infections, things like whooping cough, cold, asthma, bronchitis, things like that. It'll just reduce the discomfort during illness and has the ability to loosen phlegm, formulating recipes in my brain. Because that's a good idea. Like the red clover and mullein and the Cuban Charlie, ground ivy. That'd be a really good respiratory tincture for the winter. Okay. So it's really good for the respiratory system. It's best beneficial to try it. Get some red clover tea in you as soon as you start feeling icky, because it will help flush out the excess mucus and fluids from the respiratory system, preventing sickness if you weren't already sick, like if you caught it quickly enough. So it's also good for digestive health. Red clover supports digestive health thanks to its fiber content, promotes regular bowel movements, and prevents constipation. The anti-inflammatory properties can soothe gastrointestinal discomfort associated with conditions like IBS. Red clover supports the better nutrient absorption and overall digestive health. Drinking red clover tea after meals can also aid in digestion by stimulating the production of digestive enzymes. And that is all the benefits that I want to talk about specifically. There are a few more. There's a few that aren't as common. There's a few that need more studies. But yeah, now we go on to the side effects and the dosage suggestions. It stopped again. Let's do this in the second one. I didn't even go that long. Anyway, we talked about side effects. Safety class 1, interaction class A. Those who take hormonal and anticoagulant medications should use caution with red clover. So it might interact with oral contraceptives, methotrexate, hormone replacement therapy medications, tamoxifen, blood thinners like aspirin and Plavix, could be others. Although there was a recent study of 88 women that were on a breast cancer medication, tamoxifen, and found that they did not have any drug interactions or serious side effects, suggesting that it did not interfere with anti-estrogen medications. So, take at your own risk, use moderation, and I think it's something that as long as you're not taking too much moderation, then it should not interact at all. Okay. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm yawning today. So there was different websites had different suggestions for dosage. 40 to 80 milligrams was one based on clinical research and safety data sheets. If you're making a tea, you want to do 4 grams of red clover to 1 cup of water. It says to limit your tea intake to 1 to 3 cups a day. So 85 milligrams for most adults using red clover for help with hormonal replacement. Dosages can range anywhere from 40 to 160 milligrams of the isoflavones daily. 2 capsules containing 20 to 40 milligrams of dried red clover leaves, taken 1 to 2 times daily, is the usual starting dose. And for a tincture, you want a 1 to 5, 30% alcohol ratio. Start by taking like 60 to 100 drops daily, 1 to 3 times daily. I would say if you're on the high end, just do 1. If you're on the low end, do 3. That's good. So you can put it in an ointment containing 10% to 15% of flower heads, and it says not to apply directly to the skin without knowing what you're doing. That should be a given. So should have Looney Tunes and all those that they don't show to children anymore. Keep in mind that when used daily, red clover might take up to 3 months or 12 weeks to actually feel like it's working. So you have to be patient. When taken by mouth, red clover is commonly consumed in foods. So you can put it in a salad, you can put it in your stir fry. It'll just taste good in there. You can walk through your yard, see a red clover, pesticide free. Chomp on it for a bit. It's good stuff. I enjoy the flavor. It has a really good flavor. It is possibly safe to take red clover in doses that provide up to 80 milligrams of isoflavones daily for up to 2 years. There's a few things that can happen if you shouldn't be taking it, like nausea, muscle aches, spotting, things like that. But that you'll know that pretty quickly. When applied to the skin, red clover is safe for up to 4 weeks. Let's see. I like this right here because it actually said who said it. Herbalist David Hoffman said about tinctures, tea infusions, and dried herbs. Right here. 2 to 4 for the tincture. He says 1 to 5, 40%. 2 to 4 milliliters 3 times per day. For an infusion or tea, and this says 1 to 3 teaspoons of dried herb to 1 cup of water. So the dried herb is take 4 grams of dried herb 3 times a day. Yawning again, sorry. But that's an actual herbalist that suggested the dosage. I mean, I can suggest you a dosage all you want, but now you got 2 people telling you the same thing. So I would err on the side of caution, because remember further in what I was reading, it said 1 to 4, it says 1 to 5, 40%, 30%. I think it's going to work either way. The point is the shake up and where you store it to infuse the compounds. I know some people use gin, some people use brandy, some people use vodka. Vodka is what I use because I hate the taste of it. So I won't ever exceed what I need. That's helpful. Anyway, I'm going to put the links down below in the description. And remember I said I had one highlighted that had almost all the information you'd want in one website. It was a nice website. You want to see things on the actual scientific side of it. The other websites have plenty. Oh, you want to talk about how to grow it? You can buy seeds online easily. It is best suited for zones 3A through 9A. Basically, you need at least 90 days worth of frost-free days. And seeds need to be at 59 degrees, 15 Celsius to germinate, and no colder than 17 degrees, providing shade and ensuring moisture. You can fertilize it. I don't see the point because these things grow so well out wild in nature, unless you're using it for a cover crop or to supply business. I don't see the point in planting it because it grows wild over the majority of the world. So I think this is something that could very easily be grown by anyone. They do have a few pests. They can get root bound, powdery mildew, root rot, things like that. But overall, it's going to be very easy to grow and easier to forage. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And staying with me to the end. I super appreciate that. Try and get my act together on some things to make this better for you. I would like suggestions. I did have a lighting suggestion, and I feel like I fixed that. It's really only an issue if I'm at home. That's why I like recording this here at work. And thank you so much for sticking around to the end. Thank you for being here and supporting me. I appreciate it much more than I can express. And I hope you enjoyed learning with me. I enjoyed learning with you. So tell me what you'd like to learn about for future. I think skullcap might be next because I was supposed to do that this week and I didn't. So unless something else more specific comes up, I'll still get to it. Don't worry. I'll never run out. Have a wonderful day. Take care, everybody.